Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Eddie here, Eddie Makes Art. This is part 2 in the latest journal making series. So we did the covers in the first part. We've got one of our covers here. And then I talked about the fabrics we're going to use. And I'm making 3 journals. So we've got 1, 2, and then I'm going to do 2 journals with this fabric because I love it and I have a lot. So I'm going to use it and it's really, really cool. So that's those 2. And what I'm using to back this stuff is with, if I could find it. Okay, so my friend Violet sent me some stuff because she's like, dude, you need to try this for your fabric covered journals. It's a life changer. I don't have a sewing machine, so this is why she suggested this. She sent me some Pellon heavyweight or heavy duty Wonder Under. It's a transfer web that you iron onto your fabric like this, and then you peel the backing off, and then you continue from there. But first things first, what I did was to cut out the fabric. I don't have one of those wheelie things, which I should probably get, but I just used my my fabric scissors today. These old jobbers, heavy as sin. And I basically left about an inch border all around, so that way we have something to fold, right? And so this will be like that and like that. Now, I really would love to use some of this stuff here. It's packaging I get with my Amazon Fresh orders when I order something that's frozen or needs to be kept cold. This is, they wrap the stuff in this and then put it in the bag. And I thought this might be cool to add a layer of, you know, fluffiness to this. And so I'm thinking I will be able to, my plan is to glue this. So once you pull this off, put the fabric on top of here, and then on the top is iron it over, right? And it will stick to that, and then I can stick this to this. And then I have a cool cover, and it's got a nice little softer feeling. All right. So that is my intention. Not doing that today because I'm not ready to put the covers on yet. All we're gonna do in this video is I'm gonna show you how I iron on the fabric to the, what do they call this? Wonder Under. It's basically, it's a transfer web. Now, I don't know if y'all remember when I was a kid and my mom needed to hem something, she, you know, we couldn't afford to send stuff to the tailors or anything like that. And she was a pretty good seamstress. But for a quick hem, she would take this roll of about an inch wide webbing. And it's basically what this is. It's just a larger form. And what it does is, what you would use that for is to hem the trousers, the bottom of the trousers. And it's basically you put it in between the 2 pieces of fabric and then iron it, and it held. Although I was really clumsy and I always tend to rip them off, but you know, they're not like permanent. They're supposed to be, you know, to help you out temporarily, but my mom used it all the time, and most of the time it held. So we measured the fabric to go outside. So I'm doing a 9x6 journal cover because I'm using 8.5 by 11 sheets. So that's what's going to work in here. And so the fabric is cut at about, now I measured this earlier, it's about 16 inches, right? That way. So in here we have 14, a little more. Yeah, this is about just under 14 inches across, and then up and down it's 9 inches. So this is 11 inches top to bottom. So just give yourself enough of a border where you have to fold, have enough fabric to fold in to the cover. And then we'll worry about what we're gonna do on the inside. So we can set this one aside. And then, so this one's done, okay? I wanted to have one ready for you. And instead of showing you me cutting everything, because I think you already know how to use scissors, hopefully, I recommend using one of those roller thingies. It's probably a lot easier. I don't have one, so I'm just using what I've got. Now, I have this old bed sheet folded up, and I have it on top of my silicone sheet. I'm not gonna iron directly on here. Give some of that protection, and then I'll iron on top of that. Make sure your iron is on the wool setting or high setting, you know, you want some high heat, and you want it on the dry setting. You don't want it putting out any moisture onto this. And then, yeah, just have it ready. I think are you ready? Are you ready? Yes, you're ready. So, we can come at it from both sides. I'm going to start with the fabric side first. And what you want to make sure is there's a rough texture here and then the smooth. The rough is the webbing, that's the glue. So you want to line up the inside of your fabric with the rough side. Line it up on the sheet here as best we can. There's going to be a little bit of overlap on the fusing stuff, but that's because like I said, I don't have like one of those roller fabric cutter things, but they, so, you know, I did the best I could with my scissors. A little bit off. Come on, get in there. Okay. So we'll start, I'm left-handed, so I'm gonna start on the right. And you don't want to go, you know, once you iron, you go side to side, up and down, all around. Don't want to do that. So let's flip it over. We'll go from here. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's some spots that are a little more opaque, where it's harder to see the fabric through the paper. If you can see the fabric through the paper well, like here, that's good. You're good to go there. You can go over it once, but I think you're good to go. So again, let's start from the right, move over. Okay, you want to make sure you let this cool before you do anything else. I mean, it doesn't take long to cool, but just, you know, don't try to do anything with it now. It is hot. But look how beautiful that is. That's going to make a great cover. So remember, rough side goes against ugly side of fabric or underside of fabric. I don't say ugly, just the wrong side. Okay, that is done. Very cool. So it's not that hard to do. If I can do it, you can do it. on to the next step, which is I have taken the backing off of the piece of fabric and have ironed it onto this packaging here. It's a little fluffy, and I have it clipped because I forget that these are separate sheets. So when you trim it, and you kind of, if you lose some of this binding here, which is glued on together, it may come apart. So I'm gonna go ahead with it. I don't mind it. It's not terrible. You just have to keep that in mind, because once it's all folded over into the book cover, there should not be an issue, because I'm going to glue it on there. Right. Glue it on there, flip her over, and then once we start gluing this down, we should not have a real issue with that. However, this is where I'm running into kind of questions, is should I trim, is glue the cover down and then trim any excess besides the fabric here, obviously. Besides that layer, is trim just this all around so that when I fold the fabric over, there's no bulk there. So that I got to keep in mind. That's something I think that is going to happen, but I just wanted to show you here how I get that on to the paper. It's really easy, and then we can work on that issue. So once you, from the last video, we did our iron-on transfer of the glue layer, basically. Now, if you take the back off, come on, you're going to take this backing off and then flip it onto the surface and then iron over it. It's going to reactivate that glue and help it adhere to that to your project. All right, so this is just like, it's got that backing on it. It's smooth. It doesn't feel like sticky or anything. You know, so you could just use it as is. Otherwise, you know, you glue it on your surface, whatever. These are good. Save these. These are kind of like deli paper in a way. They have a smooth surface, so find a use for these. I don't know what, but I'll find a use for them. This is the one from that red one. Got a little box that sits next to my desk, actually, that I keep a lot of like this kind of paper, the packaging paper, like just the, you know, one sheet, kind of brown and tan stuff. I fold it up, keep it in there for all kinds of uses. So what I think I'm gonna do is I wanna try and get this, I do have more of this. I'm not worried about running out. What I wanna get is this lined up with these seams as best I can, so hopefully it will hold together better. But we're just gonna go ahead and iron it down. We'll start from the right. And again, you really shouldn't smooth or glide it over, just kind of hold it down like we did on attaching the actual backing on here. That is good. I'm not going to trim it until it's cooled down because this is keto hot. All right, so I need another piece of this stuff, don't I? So, oh, here we are. Oops, sorry about that. Are we good? Are we good? There we go. Let's peel this bad boy off. There we go. And then glue it down. Maybe this side's a little smoother, less wrinkly dinkly. I try to not to like wrinkle these up too much. In case I need to use them for something like this. Okay, I think that's good. If you are just tuning in to this video, to my channel, and you're not sure what we're doing, we are making journal covers for 3 different junk journals that will be available in my Etsy shop after they are complete. And so I'm doing this series to take you step by step through my process of building these from the cover to the innards. Signatures, ephemera, decorations, all that fun stuff. And so far, we've got 3 covers, because I'm doing 3 books. 2 are this fabric, and then I have the other one, that's the red one you saw at the beginning of the video. And we're using an iron to glue this on. And in the video before this, I demonstrated how you attach the backing with the adhesive, which is like a fabric, something used with what am I trying to say? It's got a webbing of glue attached to some like a parchment type of paper, and you iron that on. And then, as you saw, I peel the backing off. And once the backing is off, it reveals the glue. And then you can attach it to whatever project that you need to attach it to. And when you're ironing these, or using the iron to, either do the initial step of adding the backing, or doing this step to attach it to another piece of material, you want to make sure that you're not sliding the iron back and forth. You are just placing it and pressing it. Otherwise, it's going to, it'll wrinkle up the fabric and it just won't look as nice. So, edges are good. No bubbles that I can see. Very good. So I'm going to take a second. I'm going to get rid of some of the stuff, shut my iron off, and then we could start attaching these to the book covers. All right. Got my first cover here. This is the one with the red pattern fabric. These clipped in. Save those in case I need them again. I think the first thing that we're going to do, that I'm going to do, is I want to glue this down. This is the outside of the cover, and this is the inside, or this is the cover. So I'm going to flip that over, and I've left an excess of about 1 inch all around, so that we have enough to fold over. So this is the outside, which will go in. And there's no top or bottom yet. This is just inside, outside. And make sure I line it up well. I'm going to mark off corners so that if it moves, I know where I'm coming back to, where to reposition it. So just like that, just little marks so you know where we are. Do it here too. And that's where we want to glue. That's not where we want to cut. That's just for gluing. And I'm going to use, for the covers, for this I use the Elmer's glue. But I think for the actual cover, I'm going to use the Fabrifix and use a silicone, one of these little silicone things to apply it. And you see how this got some glue on it already? It comes right off. You just scrape it off and it comes off. So you don't have to, you know, worry about the dry glue like on a regular brush. And these are available. I know I got mine on Amazon. At least some people said they've seen them at the dollar store or their, you know, their local dollar store, Walmart. I'm sure other places have it. Look in the makeup section if you're out in a store, because I think that is where I found it on Amazon. But I don't know. Some people may market it in the, you know, the craft department. So there you have it. All right, so I'm gonna lay my glue on here. So I'm just gonna start this way. Let me see if I can get here's my bone folder, just to flatten this out just a little bit. And this Fabrifix glue, or Fabrifix, yes, Fabrifix, sorry. It's from Beacon. It bonds fabric, lace, leather, trims, and more. It's a fast grab, quick dry. It's washable and acid free. However, it does have a odor to it. So you want to do this in a use this in a well ventilated area. If you need to, if you have breathing issues, you know, definitely do it outside if you can. And I would recommend using a mask, because it's acetone based, and you know, if you've ever painted your nails and had to clean them off, acetone is very strong smelling. So just keep that in mind, and we're gonna go little by little here. Start getting it to remember. That's the spine. I'm not going to bone fold it yet. I just want the glue dry, but that's cool, huh? So that'll be our cover. And it's not like squishy like I thought it would be, but it's got enough softness where it's not going to, it feels just a little bit better. Let me set this one over here. And then, there we are. This I need to trim. So let me get the box cutter here. I'm just going to turn this to the side so I don't have enough area to slice on, and I'm not slicing into my mat. And how did I do that one? Yeah, I trimmed it right up. Let's see. This side I can trim too. I mean, I can trim it all because I don't need that excess. All right, we are ready to get the covers on. Let me grab those two other ones. And this is gonna be the inside. So I'm gonna lay this out like that. Here, let's do the center guy. I don't think I need to do those corners. Let's do the center. The spine. That's the spine. Yeah. There's plenty in there. Come on. Sometimes you gotta talk nicely to it to get it to come out, you know. Give it a little encouragement. Okay. Whew. That's a workout for the hands. And let's make sure there's about an inch all around. That looks good. Hello, Max. Nope, that's trouble, not Max. Is it feeding time? I think it's feeding time. Yep. You're gonna have to wait a few more minutes, please. Oh, I think we've come to almost the end, so I'm just gonna let that lay there, see if I can get any more out of that. And I got my new bottle here. Make sure you take off that label here. Little safety seal. I got it open. I'm just gonna dump all that out. Let's see if I can get any more out of this older bottle. Yeah, a little there. Okay, plenty for the spine. That is for sure. If I start talking funny, it's the fumes. Ooh, that window is, I'm so grateful I could have the window open today. That is for sure. All right, center this up. This should go a lot quicker. This new bottle of glue. Yeah, and this is not something that you want kids to do on their own, because this can be quite dangerous for the little ones. Don't do this near any open flames either. Do not. Don't smoke cigarettes while you're doing this. I'm just putting it out there. Be very, very careful. This is why a lot of crafting videos are set like not for kids in our settings, because there's a lot of stuff that we use as crafters and artists that are not acceptable for children. Now, if you want to teach your child certain things, that's up to you. That's your business. But from my end, I want to make sure that kids aren't watching something that they may want to try that could put them in any sort of danger. So, you know, gotta be careful. Get down. Just want to get that off so I can get a more less wrinkled part here. Lay flat, please. Thank you. Let's see. Are you giving me any more? I'm giving it all I can, Captain. That was terrible. Oh, a little bit. So hopefully that first cover is nice and dry, and we can work on getting the edges all tidied up so we can fold it over into the inside of the book. In the next video, we'll do the inside covers. All right, so what I was talking about earlier is getting rid of some of this bulk so that there's not a ton to fold over. So what I think the best thing to do is go around. I'm going to leave a couple of one layer plus the fabric layer, and we're just trimming it from the edges. Not that's the only place. That's so that way we don't have any bulk when we fold this over. So I think. Let's see. I think I got this. How I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this under here in between the layers I want and the layers I don't want. Okay, so I had a bit of a glitch there on the last portion of that video, and I kind of went ahead and I finished some stuff, not realizing that the camera was not filming. Anyway, so let me show you what I've done so far. I do have one more cover that is not complete, so I can show you what I did. So this is what the cover looks like when it's done. So it's got a little bit of give, but it's not heavy, which is nice. And I added the metal corners there, give it a little more strength. And then we'll have to figure out what's going to go in here, but that's going to be on the next video. So let's finish that last one so we can complete this. And remember, I'm using this weird packaging that I'm discovering is not so great for this, but I'm figuring it out. So since I glued the fabric to this side of that paper, or this sort of packaging, it creates kind of a bulk when all those layers, so I cut some of those layers off, and I'm gonna cut a little bit more just to make it a little bit cleaner looking, and just kind of go through, cut some of this off. Okay, so there we that's okay. See here, see, this is why I'm not really sure why I decided to go with this stuff, but I did, and you're just gonna have to live with it. I mean, once it's all glued down, it's fine. It's just a matter of reducing the bulk here, which I really should have cut this, obviously, to the size of the actual book cover and not to the size of the fabric, you know? But this is how we learn, right? Make sure I'm in frame here. So this is actually the day after the previous part of the video, because just, you know, life happens. You got to stop doing this. You got to do other stuff. So the lighting might be a little bit different. It's kind of very overcast. Well, it's not overcast. It's raining today, cloudy. And just a miserable day outside. I mean, yesterday was beautiful, sunny, almost 80. Today it's like barely out of the 50s, and it's rainy and windy and blah. Back to fall, I guess. We got a little taste of summer there for a few days. And that was fun. Okay. Yeah, we don't need this, don't need that. All right, so let me clear some room here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these corners snipped off so that it's easier to fold up. So, you know, take your scissors and just cut straight across here without getting as close to the corner here, but without getting on that corner. So just leave a little bit of space there. And that, and then see, I'm saving these pieces for something else, because these are just fabric, but it's still good, and it's just attached to that paper, so we can do something fun with that. All right, here is corner number 2. Okay, corner number 3. And then corner number 4. Right. Then you also want to come here where the binding or the spine folds, right? So what you want, I didn't cut these great, I know that, but once you get everything going in here, it's really not going to make a huge difference. I'm just trimming off a little bit here because I noticed it's interfering with the fold of the cover itself. You know, when you're closing it, that's better. So you want to cut little, very skinny triangles from here down, because that way you can fold everything over and not have wrinkled, you know, kind of stuff going on there. So, and I even, since this, I want to cut it just right to that edge of the chipboard on the left. And do the same thing here. Let's get some glue onto you. All right, let's move this cutting board, because we're just going to be using the glue now, and that's better on the silicone mat. And I kind of like to do opposites, so, you know, opposite corners. So I'll do here, or I'll do like here, right? And then I'll do over here. So just kind of balancing it out so it's even. I don't know if that is a thing, but that's how I do it. Fabrifix. And my little silicone tool is all I need. And this is a silicone glue, acetone based. So it is stinky. So you gotta make sure you use that in an open air area, or an area that is well ventilated. Despite it being chilly, I knew I was gonna play with this today, so I did open my windows. But it's not too bad, not too cold. All right, and just, you know, gently pull everything forward. Make sure you're got a nice edge, and then you can always take another of these silicone things that's not covered in glue, and just use it to smooth out that edge, and you won't get any extra glue on your fingers. Okay, so let's do this corner, and just be careful of the glue that you do get on the on your silicone mat. Make sure it doesn't stick to your the fabric. Now, the great thing about this mat too is, like, you can just rub the glue right off, and it just beads up and it comes right off. Okay, and then we'll do this shoulder. Most important is that you really get these edges so that nothing pops up when you least expect it. So that's nice, right? It's nice and smooth. Now this does have a little curve to it because of the chipboard, but once you get everything together, it'll flatten out more, and then it will, what do you call that? I will lay them out flat with something heavy on it so that they get a nice flatter shape. So I'll leave those overnight. Oops. I'll leave those laying flat overnight under something, you know, substantial, nothing, you know, crazy. And then be ready to go. It'll be ready to get its innards, put innards, meaning covering the inside cover. So yeah, we'll figure out what sort of pattern or paper, whatever we want to use on the inside. And also we need to address this here and cover that up so it doesn't, you know, show up. So we'll figure all that out. And my idea is to use fabric over this section, right, over the spine, to cover up the grooves here. Use some Fabrifix, and then we cover either side, so that way we know exactly where we want to, you know, place this, and we place it enough where it covers, you know, this extra part of the fabric that we lay down the center. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's do this side here. And remember, we're not going to see this because this is going to be overlapped by the inside decorating or the inside paper, so you won't see that. My hand hurts from all the gluing I did yesterday because one of the bottles that I have, the older one, you know, was running out, but I kept going at it and really giving it a good squeeze, and I kept getting, you know, as much glue as I could out of it, and oh my God, the hand is hurting today. But I didn't want to waste that glue and just let it, you know, just go in the trash without really getting my money's worth, because this is not, you know, it's not a cheap glue, and it's a good glue, but it's not inexpensive, at least not for me. So I try to, you know, get the most out of it. There we go, that's good. I'm sorry, that was a bottle of water that fell, or my spray bottle. Let's do this side now. Now I'm seeing here, this is gonna be a little kind of sticky-outy, so let's give this a trim. Otherwise, we're gonna have issues with the corners when we add those little metal corners. So that is all done as far as getting the fabric all down nice and even. Some of this here is just some of that paper sticking out from the padding I put in, that weird packaging paper. I'm just gonna clean that up. And we need to put the corners on, and that shouldn't be too hard. Now, I did run into some issues with the other one because of the chipboard thickness and then the fabric. I do have to open up those little corners a little bit more, and then sometimes I find I had to kind of trim this, but it doesn't make a difference because you don't see it. My board here. And I just have some pliers, needle nose. And then these little metal corners. These are from, I purchased them on Amazon. They come in this little container. And you get a bunch for just a few bucks, really. And they come in very handy. So, first I try it out. Test it on there, see if I can, see if it'll fit. See if I need to open up the sides a little bit. And that looks really good there. Fits in nicely, smoothly. So, and then I'll take a little bit of, just opening it up, a little bit of glitter glue. I just put a little bit in there just so it holds once I clamp it down with the pliers. And as far as papers for the signatures, you know, you can keep it as simple as you want. You can get, you know, real chunky funky, and I'll show you, you know, some different things. You know, it's up to you. It's your book. I mean, if it's something that you want to, you know, be specific as far as the theme, you can certainly do that. There's a lot of great digi-kits out there that you can use to do your journal. You know, there's all sorts of options. I'm going to do, you know, I have coffee dyed paper, I have avocado dyed paper, I have painty papers, I have music paper, you know, sheets of music, just other papers like, you know, pages out of books, or, you know, and I'll go through all that. I have some textured paper. And so we'll put all that together and we'll go through them, and then we will build a signature, and then, you know, see how it looks and make sure it fits within the confines of the book, meaning the 9x6. Now, some people, when they put together their signature and they get it all together, they will trim up the edges and get it all nice and straight. I don't do that simply because I think that takes away from the junk of the junk journal. Like, you know, that's just more just a journal. And like a junk book, a junk journal is a, you know, just supposed to be a mishmash of things that you pull together from your, you know, from wherever. And you put it all together in a fun, interesting way. And not every junk journal needs to be written in. You know what I mean? Jelly bean? You know, you can do it more towards, make one that's more towards an art book. You can make a junk journal that's meant just for holding, you know, journal tags. Because a lot of people will make really fun, interesting tags and swap them. So that could be something that, you know, you make a book for, and you do collect them in there. It can be a book for your artist trading cards that you get. You know, all sorts of stuff. So that's just a little fluff there. So there we go. Got our 3 book covers. We're ready to go. And there we have it. All right, guys, I will see you in the next series. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.